Welcome to the second annual Halloween special, Ghost to Ghost, here on Pop City Culture. My name is Hakeem Brown.
There are things that go bump in the night. Unexplained mysteries in the world. You are told there's no such things as monsters, but we know the truth. Ghosts, monsters, demons, all the unnatural exist. Be afraid and sit back. Welcome to Pop City Culture, Ghost to Ghost.
Hey, what is up? Halloween special, man. Boy, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Some scary stories here. Now, we had our special yesterday, our pre-Halloween special, but today is the boom diggity. That's right. Yeah, boy. That's what I'm talking about. So, without further ado, I'm going to pass this off to my brother. He don't like it when I say idiot brother, so I'm going to have to still say my brother from another. No, actually, it's the same mother. I'm going to pass it off to my brother. Here we go. Hakeem Brown.
Thank you there, Reggie, for another interesting introduction. So,
Yeah, you're welcome.
that's right. Today is it's the Halloween special, the second annual.
Yep.
Reggie, can you believe we've been doing this
I know.
for over a year.
Over a
and now
year.
we are on our second Halloween special. Can you believe that?
I know. I can't believe it because when we first started out, we had no idea we'd be tripping like this, and everybody would be tripping over our stuff, you know?
I know. Who would have thought?
Not me.
You know, when we first started this podcast, we would still be here
Yep.
all over the world.
All over.
the world. I mean, we are all over. It's amazing.
It is amazing.
And I just can't believe the amount of success we've had and the amount of love that we've gotten and the support. I mean, it's really cool that everybody loves what we say, you know, and what we're doing because, you know, we're like kids and we wanted to make a difference in the world. So, you know, Reggie, you know, just for everybody new popping in here, you know, how did we start out?
Man, it all started out because of the epidemic last year, and we were home from school, and we wanted to make a difference in the world. We didn't know what was going on in the world, and we didn't know if people were listening to politics, if people were, you know, especially kids our age. A lot of kids don't really care about politics and any of that stuff. So we wanted to bring something to the table, something new to the table, you know, man? And we kids, and we figured we got the pulse on the nation of kids,
Yeah, you know, we thought people would be into politics and stuff like that, but, you know, I guess people got really heated over that stuff.
Man, it was ridiculous how people were hating on us back
So I was
then,
telling
you know?
my brother, you know, I want to move on.
Me
Do
too.
something else besides politics. Every
Yeah.
now and then maybe we'll do something with politics.
Maybe.
But, you know, we can do fun stuff like, you know, paranormal and the kind of fringe stuff that me and my brother really like. Right, Reggie?
Brother, you got that right. I love that kind of fringe sci-fi stuff, you know?
We had our Halloween special last year, and it was a success.
It was off
We
the
got
hook.
so many emails, and people were just calling us and saying it was outstanding. So, yeah, so if anybody wants to check last year's out, you know, you can look it up, you know, on our past podcasts all over the world. Like we said, all over the world. It's pretty cool. So, without further ado, what are we going to do, Reggie?
We're going to get to our first Ghost to Ghost story. That's what I've been waiting for.
That's right.
You know?
We are going to do
Yep.
our Halloween special.
Yeah, that's right. I want to hear the
So,
stories.
you know, we actually have a bunch of stories and a bunch of scary stories. So I'm going to read them. All right, Reggie?
What?
Reggie,
Well, what is it?
here we go. Are
All
you
right.
ready, Reggie?
Of course I'm ready. Let's go.
Reggie, are you ready?
You know I'm ready. Let's go.
Reggie,
What?
do you hear me? And are you ready?
Yes, I hear you. I'm ready. Man, why you
I
keep doing
know.
that? Just
Okay,
go,
Reggie.
man. Man, what's up with
Okay.
you, man?
So our first
Jeez.
ghost story is It Wasn't a Little Girl.
All right.
That's right. So, here we go. I was camping with my husband and his family at a small remote lake in New Mexico. There were about 10 people in our group and another group of 6 people in the next campsite. It was nighttime, and both groups were doing typical activities, making s'mores, having a few drinks, and telling stories, when we heard what sounded like a little girl yelling out for help. Neither group had children with them, but we were all positive we were hearing a little girl and decided to search the area we heard the noises from together. There was a field behind our campsite, and we all saw a very tall, pure white figure standing maybe 100 feet away from us in the field, making the noises. We all agreed this thing looked maybe 6 feet tall, skinny, and white as can be. We made our way closer to investigate, but whenever it was there, we started backing off as we got closer. And it disappeared into the trees. All night, we continued to hear a little girl calling for help as we tried to sleep.
Oh man, that is scary. Oh my God. I don't know what I'd do if I saw something
Reggie,
like that.
Reggie,
You know?
that makes me now want to go
Oh,
camping at a campsite or
Never go
anything.
camping, man. I'd be
I mean,
scared.
You hear that, and I'm like, oh
I'd
man,
be busting.
I don't know, man. I don't
running.
want to be seeing some 6 foot
Heck
something
no.
making noises like that, and then they disappear.
I know, right in front of your face, man. Right in the woods, man. What is up with
I know.
that?
Oh,
man?
my goodness.
Oh my God.
So,
oh my God. Okay,
Reggie,
go on. What,
you know,
what?
you went camping. You were camping a few times with Grandpa, right?
Yep.
So did you guys? What did you guys do?
We made s'mores. We made campfires. We took hikes, and we told ghost stories and stuff. You know. Yeah, we told the ghost stories. They were pretty scary too, because when you're out there, it is scary. You know.
Yeah, but I tell you, going camping can be fun and it can be scary. So, Reggie, on to the next story. You ready for it?
I'm definitely ready for the next
Okay,
one. I've been waiting all year.
This is a story called
What?
The Walking Dead.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a psychiatric nurse, and early in my career, I worked at a residential mental health facility. One of the residents was an elective mute, which means that he couldn't talk. But there were no medical reasons why. He had spoken clearly in his life, and in fact seemed quite normal back then. With the expectation of being close to 7 feet tall, he'd been raised in the Deep South and joined the military when he was 19. But one night he vanished. He was declared AWOL, which means absent without leave. And eventually he was declared missing and dead. 10 years later, a 7-foot man walked into a VA hospital emergency room in my part of the Midwest and said to the receptionist, "My name is Marion Duchesne." Not the real name. And I've been dead for 10 years. Those were the last words he ever spoke. He was covered with dust, and he was wearing the same clothes he'd been wearing reported the night he vanished. His social security number had not been used, and he had no identification on his person. However, they were able to identify him, I guess by fingerprints. The family was notified but they said they had already grieved their lost man, and that whomever was claiming to be simply couldn't be. They demanded not to be contacted again. Marion paced all day, every day, moving his mouth that looked like talking or muttering. But no sound came out. He had an unvarying habit of throwing his head back with his mouth wide open as if he were laughing heartily. But not even a breath could be heard. If I talked to him, he appeared to be listening, periodically throwing his head back in what was like laughter. Various medications were tried, but they did not affect him either positively or negatively. Occupational therapy did nothing, because Marion would just grin, and unless told to say put, he'd get up and start pacing again. On my last day at my job, the last thing I saw was Marion pacing in the parking lot, throwing his head back to laugh. Later, I wondered if all along he had been dealing with a ghost. All these years later, I still don't know.
Oh my God, that is scary. You know what? Maybe he was talking to a ghost, or he was like possessed or something, or thinking about aliens.
Yeah,
you know
Reggie,
what I'm
man,
saying?
that's sort of
I mean,
scary.
that's real scary, man.
Maybe he was talking to a ghost or something.
That's what I just said.
Did he not age or something?
Apparently
he didn't
not.
age. He
Nope.
was wearing the same clothes.
Same clothes.
I mean, stuff like that is like that's some eerie stuff. It's like he got plucked right out of time.
Yep, by
and
aliens.
put back
By
in
aliens.
in the time in the
By
future or something. Like he
aliens.
went through some kind of a time portal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I said.
That's right.
So anyway,
So,
we're gonna move on.
Here's the next one.
Give me another. Okay.
The
okay.
next story is called
What's
The
it called?
Unrest Stop. I was driving across country with my mom and sister when I was 16 and my sister was 20. It was late, but we were well rested, still alert. We were driving along an interstate and needed gas and a bathroom break, so we stopped at the only rest stop in 200 miles. There was a van full of teenagers on the road trip at the gas station, as well as a small gray car parked at the pump in front of us, with two young men standing outside of it. When we got there, everything felt wrong. We'd been on the road for days and seen many rest stops at night and had never been afraid until then. My mom and sister went inside and I stayed in the car. I heard the teenagers say they were creeped out and couldn't get the pump to work, and they left in a hurry. I was watching the car in front of us, and the two men had not moved at all, not an inch. They weren't talking, they weren't on phones, they were just standing there, still as stone. My sister and mom came running back out to the car, and when they got in, the two men slowly turned and looked at us, while not moving or pivoting the rest of their bodies. And I swear, we all saw the same thing. They had eyes dark as pitch and empty, truly empty, not black, not reflecting any light at all, just a void. We stepped out of there and didn't stop until we were in the next city. The worst thing about the entire experience, we couldn't find the place on any map. We knew exactly which spot on the interstate to look, and we couldn't find it anywhere on any paper map or internet. We even asked the locals about the creepy gas station out on the stretch of road and got only confused looks. We've been traveling on that interstate since, and there's no rest stop.
Oh man, I can't imagine traveling and then you don't see it after a while. Man, that's scary. It's like it vanished, man. That's scary. That's scary.
Yeah, that's scary. That
Oh
makes
my
me,
God.
Reggie, not want to travel.
What?
I mean, can you imagine if we're traveling and then we see some rest stop and these guys with these
I
blank...
know, right?
Actually,
There's like-
isn't there something about black-eyed children?
Yeah, there is. We were gonna do a show on that, weren't we?
Yeah. Black-eyed children.
What?
Something
What?
about...
Yeah,
we gotta
black-eyed
do a
children.
show on that, too.
I just said that.
We got to go
I
back
just
and
said
see
that.
what shows we talked about we were going to do shows on.
Man, I got a list of them.
You know?
You don't listen to me.
I know.
But
So,
whatever, man.
All right. Yeah, so...
Go on.
That one was pretty scary.
It was scary.
That
It was real
sort of scared me.
Real scary. So go on.
How do you like the story so far,
I
Reggie?
like the stories, man. If you just stop babbling, man,
Well,
and get to the
Reggie,
stories,
here
we'll be
comes
all set.
another one.
Okay, good.
This
Here
one
we go.
is called.
What,
this is a
what?
story called "It Came for Us in the Graveyard." We were driving my friend's really old, beat-up Subaru through a massive graveyard. We stopped and walked down a hill and came across a little pond. There was someone sitting on a rock on the other side of the pond. The figure was all black and we couldn't make out any of the features. In fact, we thought it looked like a man who was wearing some old-style top hat. We stupidly waved and shouted, "Hi." He didn't show any acknowledgement and continued sitting on the rock. All of a sudden, he jumped to his feet, started running to us on the water, and then vanished in thin water about halfway on the pond. My friends and I screamed and ran back to the car. The car wouldn't start, and we heard something banging on the back of the car. It wasn't a constant bang, but every few seconds, and so we heard it. Nobody was outside from what we could see in the dark, but something was making noise on the car. I opened my phone and started dialing my mom to come give us a boost, but I had no service. None of us had any cell service. The next 30 minutes we spent trying to get the car started. No banging was heard afterwards, but we felt this heavy pressure around us. Finally, the car started and she hit the pedal to the metal. We sped out of the graveyard so fast, immediately crossing the gate. All of our phones regained cell service. One thing I know for certain is that someone or something was out there, and it was not an animal or a human.
Oh, man, it was a ghost, man. It was a ghost monster, man.
Reggie,
You know,
that
man?
makes me so scared. I'm saying to myself,
Oh,
I don't
my-
ever want to go to a graveyard unless I'm like buried in it.
That's funny.
Oh man,
Man,
that
it
was
gave me
scary. That was
goosebumps.
that was
That
obviously
gave me goosebumps.
that was obviously scary.
Gave me goosebumps, man.
You know what though? There's a
What?
really short story that I have.
What is it? Yeah.
Hang on a second.
All right.
Hang on. Let me grab it.
Hurry up.
Okay.
Hurry up.
This says, "Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned." After we moved into our home, we were told a woman had died there at the hands of her abusive husband. She hated him. My dad would wake us up with scratches all over himself, and whenever my brother was mean to my sister or I, he would have scratches on him as well. One day, my brother hurt our sister. He hit her with something. When he woke up later that night, he had a horrible bloody nose. The day we moved out, my brother accidentally broke his twin's arm trying out a wrestling move. He swears that he would have died that night if it wasn't our last in the house.
Oh, my God. I wouldn't have moved that. I would have moved that house.
I know, man. That
a
sounds
long
like
time
a
ago.
mean brother, don't it?
That's a mean old
I
brother.
wouldn't want no brother like that. You want a brother like that?
Listen, I got a brother like that.
Shut up, Rick. You're an idiot.
You're an idiot.
Anyways,
You,
here's
okay.
another story. This is a short one.
All right, go on.
Hang
You
on a second.
good?
I get some water.
You good? Man, why you always got to clear your throat? Every time we get on here, why don't you just keep some water next to you instead of trying to drink mine?
This one is called "My Mother
Okay.
Attracted Evil." Did that scare you, Reggie?
What's the matter with you? Yeah.
I know. Okay, so here's a story. After my parents divorced, when I was a teenager, I lived with my mother. I experienced lots of paranormal happenings. Several times when I was reading in my bed, the room would start to feel really icy. Next, it would feel as if someone or somebody that hated me was staring at me. When I got that feeling, I would leave the room and come back an hour later. Sometimes during the day, I would see a shadow figure sneaking along the walls of my bedroom walls. Something in the flat was pretending to be my dog. I went into my room and heard a deep growl from under my bed. My dog wasn't capable of making a noise that deep. It sounded like either a really big dog or a man doing his best to impersonate one. Other times my dog would whimper and pace in the room next to mine, but wouldn't come out when called, as if he was afraid of something in the hallway. When I moved in with my father, the paranormal activity stopped. But my mom still thought there was a dog in her house, and there was not.
Oh my God, there was a ghost dog in her. Man, that mother attracted
Reggie,
like demons
that
or
is
something, man.
definitely scary. I'm gonna have to
That's
tell you,
Too scary, man.
that took me by surprise.
I heard stories
Can
like
you,
that before.
You know,
I know. Mhm.
a
Man.
growling dog, dude.
A growling
and she
demon
thought
dog.
it might have been a man or somebody hiding her.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know, man.
I don't know either. I don't know either.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna bring us to the last one, the last story we have of the day for this great second annual Halloween special here on Pop City Culture. This one is called "The Demon's Room." I was working as a forensic nurse in a hospital lockup unit. We had one older lady who swore she was being haunted and abused by a demon she would call Tiberius. So many crazy things happened while she was on the unit. We'd go into the room, do normal care, leave, and a second later she'd start screaming bloody murder. We'd run into the room to find her looking like she'd been in a fight with a boxing champ. Bloody lip, black eye, markings all over her body. No one ever saw her doing this stuff to herself. Things would get moved around the room by themselves. At one point, she was in protective restraints because the doctors thought She was hurting herself. There was no way she could have removed or done anything to herself while these restraints were on her. But new marks would always appear, and her tray cart would be across the room. The room was secure, so there was no way someone else was doing this. When we asked her questions, she'd just say it was Tiberius. After she was discharged, she always had trouble with that room. If there was going to be a rapid response or code, it happened in that room. One night a guard reported lights blinking on and off in that room. And when he went in there, for 2 seconds he said he saw a huge demon that almost touched the ceiling with claws and red glowing eyes.
Oh my God, say it ain't so. Oh my God, that is scary. Oh my
Gee,
God.
that one was off the hook. That story, that one.
I ain't gonna
that
sleep
one
tonight.
said,
I ain't gonna sleep tonight.
It gave me goosebumps. That's the word I'm like. It gave me goosebumps. Did it give you goosebumps?
Yeah,
it gave
like
me goosebumps
before I told
too.
you, but man, you're taking anything
Oh
I
man,
say.
well,
This is ridiculous.
I'm gonna tell everybody.
Go on.
So we want to wish everybody a happy Halloween.
Happy
we want to
Halloween.
thank you for joining us here on Halloween night with Pop City Culture's second annual Halloween special.
Ghost to ghost.
Don't forget to listen to us tomorrow with the after party Halloween special. So listen, everybody, happy Halloween, and I hope you guys got everything you want, like all that candy. So here we are in the end of the show. I want to thank you for joining us here on Pop City Culture, and thank you for making us one of the most listened to podcasts around the world. Our success is your success. You can download our podcast and enjoy them any time of the day, morning, noon, or at night. I'll see you next time here on Pop City Culture. And as always, be kind and affectionate to one another. Remember whose you are. Peace.
Yo, man, I hope my brother didn't throw that demon little thing at the end of the story just to try to scare me and give me goosebumps and try to make me scared all night, because that'd be cold, man, because that just be cold. That's so wrong, because now I'm really scared. Okay, all right. Well, all right.